Septuagesima, a time to prepare for Lent. We are now in the season of Septuagesima. The joys of Christmastide seem to be just a memory now. The days of gladness which were brought to us by the birth of Jesus are gone. The skies above us have grown dark, and we are warned it will get darker. Lent is coming, and then Passiontide. Does this mean that the Son of God and the Child of Mary have left us? No, the Word was made flesh in order that he might dwell among us. We know that he does, for he promised he would remain with us until the end of time. He is here, but his glory is hidden. He waits our visits to him in the Blessed Sacrament, and for us to share his hidden life, and soon to participate in some small way in the suffering he must endure for the love of us. We must follow in the way of the cross. Jesus has told us that if we would be his disciples, we must carry our crosses daily. Yet he also said that his yoke is sweet and his burden light. We have yet to learn, perhaps, that when we suffer, he has not left us. We have not fallen out of his favor, but rather carrying our cross is a sign of his favor. We know that the liturgical year progresses from Septuagesima to Lent to Holy Week, and finally to his agony in the garden. We will follow him in his arrest, trial, humiliation, and torture, and his death. We know that all along this leads to the resurrection. Knowing this, we should know also in our lives as well that our sufferings, united to those of Jesus, lead to a share in his glory. To the worldly man it would appear that to deny our senses every satisfaction, to live in silence without seeking the respect and praise of others, would lead to an unhappy life. The true followers of Christ would tell you the opposite. They have seen that his yoke is sweet and easy. The world knows nothing about this. To them the cross is folly. St. Francis de Sales tells us that suffering for Jesus and renouncing unnecessary worldly pleasures is the sweetest of sweetness. We should keep this in mind as we prepare to go out into the desert with Jesus. Our Mother, the Church, will soon invite us to Lenten penance, but she wishes for us to use the next couple of weeks to consider the deep wounds caused in our souls by sin. To do so, she will invite us to follow Jesus into the desert for prayer and fasting for 40 days. How can it be that we find joy in the practice of penance and Lenten discipline? This will be the subject of our next video. This is Robert. Thank you for listening. Remember, this is a time to discern and plan for our Lenten penance. Let us think of a plan to adopt spiritually beneficial practices and to walk with Jesus upon the road to Calvary, so that we may participate more fully in the glory of the resurrection. Thank you for listening.